Hi, this is Mia. It is Wednesday. I forgot to do the Friday download or the Tuesday T-Mobile. Dang it. It's too late. Um, I just did the 2 hours of meetings. I think I did an hour and a half. I started about, so it's 11. I think 9:23. They had. They must have just finished the readings. I was like, oh, they just start randomly, but they're still starting on the hour. I should be in this one. But I came in earlier today, and there was a lady all week that's been running the 11 o'clock through 1 o'clock, and I've been in her meetings. She's hosting these or volunteering to host these meetings, apparently at that time of day. And so I changed up a little bit. I said last night, I think I was going to wake up and get in the shower, get dressed. I didn't do my hair. It's so dry. I don't know what's wrong with my hair. I know what's wrong with it. It's just messed up. Just messed up. Period. It's like naturally messed up. I said I was gonna get dressed, get in the shower, get dressed, get on the meeting, put the video on, and speak. I did not speak, but I stayed in there. And they had people speaking more than once, but that's okay. I didn't raise my hand, so it doesn't matter. I can always go back in because it's 24 hours a day. Somebody had a flyer on for a meeting. I believe it was on my time zone, and they had it as their profile pic. And I just went back before I logged off to try to write. I got up to go write down the number, and I ended up going to grab some food instead. So I had my notebook over there. I'm really thirsty. Oh, there's water behind me. I had my notebook there, and I didn't bring it over, so I ate all of the kale chips, the spicy ones. The spiciness made me want to just keep eating them. So they have buckwheat in them, which is supposed to be gluten free, but it's a grain. It clogs up my sinuses and whatever else they put in there. It's supposed to be raw, but you never know what that means to some people. Because people will say something's raw and have maple syrup, which is cooked. They'll have the Bragg liquid aminos. I'm not sure how it's processed or the yeast either. I don't know if it's heated or heated to a certain temperature. I had a lady running a booth at the farmer's market at the health food store that I belong to, and it wasn't her product. She's like, oh yeah, try this, is raw. This is raw. Can I see the label? She's like, no, it's all raw, doesn't matter. Like, see the label. The first ingredient or the second ingredient was toasted sesame seeds. And I'm like, this is not raw. It's like, even if that was the last ingredient, just because you have a little bit of it, it's like it's hard because even salt is like cooked and processed. And regular salt that comes in the containers usually has like silicone dioxide or dextrose. Like when you get the little packs from the deli at the store, they typically have they have dextrose, which is a sugar, like a corn sugar. And I was wondering why I was feeling so sick eating the salad bar and the salt, and I was like, are there preservatives in here? And then I started looking at those labels, so I had to do pepper, sorry, butter. That is like a Freudian slip. I must be needing butter right now. And I had the salt. You could get the bulk salt, and I'd go and buy a thing of bulk salt or some. I had a McCormick sea salt crusher, you have like a pepper grinder. It was like a salt grinder, portable. Keep it in the car. It's not really made to be portable because the stuff leaks out. I wanted to refill that one actually. That was a nice thick bottle. It's a shame you can't figure out how to refill something like that. But it was really good for the job as I was on the run. I was in the car a lot during that job. So this morning I woke up and I knew that I felt tired and I knew that I felt fat, I guess, again, because of me not exercising enough and not getting out and not having these jobs. I felt good that I completed that deadline, but I felt crappy that I'm not going to qualify for the money. But I just did the paperwork anyway, just to give it a shot, You don't know, maybe they'll put a hardship on everyone's application and let you just get your money if you get the requirements. But I'm not going to hold my breath. It's really depressing. I had gone through my mind today a little bit with the Pizza Hut owing me hundreds of dollars for my sick pay that I applied for in a timely manner. I was ignored by every manager, every person that could possibly ignore me. All the phone calls, all the emails I sent out, not one of them gave me any information. And then at the end of the year, they're like, oh, we can't see your sick pay. We're not going to give it to you because we reset our calendar. So I was like, go back and look at my freaking check stubs. Like, I will send you my check stubs. I will send you the email and the screenshots of the page that had the request. I will show you a screenshot of all the managers that I called, how often I called you guys, and all the 800 numbers I called to try to get a hold of someone, the emails I sent and forwarded. All of that was ignored. And all they had to do was get the new manager, HR person to say, yes, I approve these funds. And it sucks to earn that money and work somewhere for 2 years and still not get vacation pay. It's just a horrible thing. I felt like God's like, don't worry about any of that. The government money, my other company, I was supposed to get like 2 years ago, I set up a retirement account as a matching fund, or like a percentage that they would, if you did it like 3%, they'd do 3% or something like that. I never got like a penny in that. Horrible. Like you sign up for it and then it doesn't go through and you have to go through this other company. Like, oh yeah, at least in the next 2 paychecks, it should be on your account as active and all this stuff. And of course it never, like I called and I did that for months and I tried to do it manually, and then it's like, oh shoot, now I did it manually. It didn't work when you called. They said they got it in the system. You do it manually and it's like, oh, it resets the system to another. Like, if it says 6% and you don't get 6%, you put 6% again. It's like, oh, we reset the clock. So it's like, I feel like they were negligent on my retirement fund. And even in the beginning, when I first thought it was set up, the guy's like, oh yeah, I set it up, blah blah blah. And then I went back the next, like, I probably waited like months later, like, oh, that guy who did that before didn't do it right. But it's like that, and it's like, you don't get what you're entitled to, and it's like you earn something, and it's a perk of the job, and it could be a decision about whether you want the job, and if the job sucks, you might stay because of the perk. But then they treat you like garbage, and you speak up about it, and you get to where you're being harassed at work, or there's mice in the food place, and there's stuff that you're trying to resolve for the good of the customers, as well as your own health and safety, which you don't even bring up. You bring up the customer safety, and they just blow you off and call you bothersome. And you're like, what am I supposed to do? You know, what am I supposed to do for your company and your low wages and your lack of support and just ignoring us. And I do business. I do stuff for the kids. I do stuff for my business, other people's business. And it can be easy when you're juggling a lot of stuff to forget about things or to have to prioritize things. Like I can't call the kettle black. I'm not perfect. I don't do all my chores. I don't clean my whole house. I don't make my bed every day. I've been doing a heck of a job of making the bed though most days. The sink has not been overloaded with dishes, which is like great, because a year ago there would have been mold that needed to be just hold your breath and hope that you don't get like this mold toxicity from your, like, there was some nasty stuff from being overworked. Now I'm underworked, and I swore my boyfriend left and mumbled something about, why don't you earn some money, this and that and this and that. And I've been doing all this stuff on my computer for my business from home. I've been doing all these job applications. I've been doing job applications for years. Since I was able to do job applications while living in a homeless shelter and having to use the state employment computers and printers to type up my resumes and stuff, I have been doing it for years. And I've gotten 2 jobs. I've gotten 3 jobs in 15 years. 3 jobs. And all of them I knew somebody that already worked there. And the last one, I met the manager because of the one job that I already had. I met the manager, and he saw me at my other job, and he liked the way I worked and liked the way that I suited up and showed up and acted professional, and he liked my way of thinking and my honesty. Like, he could see it in real life. Wasn't a friend, but just he was a customer at my other place, but he was a manager at the place down like a one stoplight away. And so, like, somebody asked me, "Oh, do you leave your car at the first place and walk to the second place?" I was like, "I should, but I'm not." Like, that place was known for theft, car theft, break in, enter someone's car. I call the bartenders, the wine and beer guys. Car got burnt down to the ground in the parking structure, which is like right next to the freaking front door. Like, like, there's like cameras and crap there too, and there's still people still burn down your freaking car and break in and steal it and stuff. I was like, no, I'm not gonna walk and come back to work between 10 p.m. and 2 a.m. to go walk down there to get my car. Like, I don't know. I like sometimes you're like, are you stupid? Would you leave your car? Like, you have like your snacks and your water and your uniform and a place where you can go sit and take your lunch break, if you get a lunch break. Sometimes I had to go out to the car and call my kid, because you can't hear inside the building because of all the noise, all the machines, which I'm like deaf from. But I hated hearing in my heart that I need to let this stuff go and to just get on target. And I'm blaming my partner for saying what I think I heard of him tell me to go work. The minute I got here, I was still doing billing. I was still trying to do this Medicaid thing. I should have done it when I got here. I probably would have qualified. I should have read some of the fine print when I got here. But he kept saying, "Oh, let's watch this on TV." I didn't have my computer. I didn't have his computer set up for me to use. I was sitting in bed reading. I had different books when I got here while I let him sleep, not watching TV, not wanting to move around. I eat in the morning. I know I'm fat, but I eat in the morning because I have no energy. I don't do caffeine. I don't do nicotine. Like, my food energy gets me, like, I needed some carbs every morning to get up. Sometimes even just to get up and be able to tolerate using the bathroom and, like, not just, like, laying there, like, tranquilized because I'm hungry. I had to learn how to do better with the hunger, too, because I need to lose weight. I'm 30 pounds. I'm about 30 pounds over my goal weight. It's very, very embarrassing. I hate it. I'm still thinking about my old high school friend that's doing the Pampered Chef on Facebook, and how that person has never given me the time of day or helped me out. And I remember my family helping her out and us being good friends. But she's like a Barbie looking person. She has these other Barbie looking girls that have a different life than me, that get money from jobs with sales and waitressing, where you can make a lot of money because you're cute. And, it doesn't even matter your weight. Like, you're cute, your hair is cute, you have that smile and that red lipstick, and you got it going on, And I'm not, like, a part of that clique. And so it's like, oh, you're doing bad, oh, you're struggling with your kids, oh, you want to talk to someone about your mom, and try to think of some good things or some bad things just to get your mind off, because you could use a friend, and that person's never been there for me. And I'm like, maybe I should just order something from her just to shut myself up and to reconcile my jealousy and my envy and my anger and my pity party that I'm having. Oh, poor me. Everybody's gonna support her. I was like, well, maybe she really needs the money, and maybe she really is gonna starve to death if she doesn't get a bunch of sales. And it's like another friend from high school, or actually from kindergarten, but also high school, is on there hosting, like, it's a pyramid thing. And it's like they're coaching them and cheering on everyone and thanking all the people that order. And it's driving me crazy. It's just filling up I just ignore the invitation. I'm not even looking at I'm not even joining the group. Because it's like, I can't get anybody to send me $1 to help my, GoFundMe. I can't get anybody to like my medical page. I can't get anyone that I knew that knew I wanted to be a doctor to ask me, how is it to be that way? And my mind, when I say that, I was like, I'll show you. I'm gonna go and I'm gonna buy some property and we're gonna build a house, and then my kids will graduate and they'll come out here, and we'll have like that corgi that we never could get, and we'll have to like hire a dog sitter because we'll be going on vacation. Like, my mind is like, I'll show you. I'll be that house at the top of the hill looking down on you, like my one friend used to say, looking down on you. And that thought comes to my mind, and I don't want to be like that. But what it should be, because that sounds like I want to show off and be like, it's like a red hen to the extreme. Like, I'm gonna sit in here and eat my bread. You didn't help me. You didn't. I asked for your help for a simple job, and you just laid there and looked at me, and were not friendly to me. Rolled your eyes like Noah's Ark. People made fun of him, and then when the time came, he had to do that. He had to get out. And I'm so, like, I feel like we should all have a little bit of narcissism in us for self-preservation of, good job, you did something, and you're gonna enjoy your life because of that something. And right now I feel like how do I say this? I feel like I can still have those dreams. Because the thing is, my energy in the universe will say, you are a cocky jerk. You're not going to get some land and build a house and do this from scratch. And like that one guy, oh my God, what is his name? I need to share his channel with you. He's from Southern Oregon. Farm Acres or something. What is his name? He does the videos on homesteading. He had been living in a trailer. He had been living in a car, and he lost his job and had a heart condition. And he had a trailer where he was in the car with his wife and his, I think, 2 kids. And then they ended up on a property with a buddy and living in a trailer, I think. And then he bought a manufactured home, and I think he was paying monthly payments to a buddy. He got a huge deal on a manufactured home, and he got a deal through the city on a auction property that nobody bought. So he didn't even go to the auction with cash. He waited till after the auction, and he made an offer. And the place was trashed. It had a burn up trailer, like single wide trailer. It had junked vehicles, and like you can imagine in the country. Let me look them up. You can imagine in the country what is like tires and metal and old wood, and you got all kinds of critters and all kinds of stuff. So, let's see, I keep on saying Piney Acres. Like, what the heck am I talking about? He's got a duck in his video. Wait, let me go to subscriptions. I couldn't find this other guy's subscription. Pine Meadows Hobby Farm. His last video that I could see on here is called Homestead Livestock. New rabbits on the farm, which was posted 3 hours ago, and he calls himself Pine Meadows Hobby Farm, and on the side it says a frugal homestead. So this guy had shown his videos on him building up, bringing the trailer over, or the double wide, or the manufactured home. He had 1 or 2, he gets trades for doing clean outs and stuff. Manufactured homes that were, RVs. And he ended up having his daughter and her kids, or he had like a child and an in-law with the 2 kids living in that trailer, I thought. And then they ended up moving back to the land that they started at, their buddy's land that they were kind of sitting at, and so this guy will show his videos for years, he'll take a lot of that stuff I told you was junk. He would reclaim that material, that metal, build a barn with it. Scraps and windows and metal for the roof or whatever he used, and then put a nice paint job on it, put a ramp on it, put some cages in. He's doing homesteading for himself and his family, and I guess his grandkids. I believe he has 2 grandkids. I don't think he rarely shows his wife. There was one where his barn burnt down with the pigs inside. They died, and it's horrible. They show another one where he's in a forest fire. That's when the Columbia Gorge. I was living in Oregon at the time. The Columbia Gorge burnt down, and he was. Okay, so he's in Southern Oregon. The Columbia Gorge goes east. It's the Columbia River. It's like east to west. It's really confusing for me. I have to look at a map. But I know on the freeway you're taking 84 parallel the Columbia Gorge from Portland, where Vancouver is on the other side of the river. So you have Vancouver, Washington, and Portland, Oregon, and you have the Columbia River, and you have the Highway 84 goes parallel to the river into the Dalles, Oregon. I have not been past the Dalles, so I don't even know. 84 ends up going to Idaho. So if you can imagine that. And from my house, it would be about 3 hours to the Dalles if you stop a couple times to use the bathroom. So that burnt from that firecracker from the kids. So there's already fires going. So I question that still to this day, but it was something that people saw, the fire erupting, and then some kids, I think that same day, were on the trail up there. There was already fires erupting, and there's trails shut off. And when that forest, it was like a stink bomb or whatever, a smoke bomb. When that went off, the fire moved rapidly because I guess he threw it down the hill, ignited the hill, and then the people at the top. There was some kids in a group with an adult that got stranded, and they had to wait for a call that it was clear. They had to like spend the night up there, like they were just doing like a day walk, and they had to spend the night up there. So in his videos, it was in Southern Oregon, but if you know about the California wildfires, in the summer Oregon gets wildfires, and Washington State gets wildfires, everything like Idaho, all that stuff. But that strip where I-5 north-south goes from Washington to Oregon to California, there's a lot of smoke in the air. It sucks. Right? So if he's in Oregon, California's here, and I'm in Portland, he's in Southern Oregon or whatever, near Grants Pass or whatever, you have just the every year forest fires. You have sisters and all that stuff. So that's what I'm wondering right now, like what I learned from this guy. So that's why I suggest you listen to him. I watched Rusty 78609. There was a huge controversy this week about him cutting down all his pine trees on the property, so now it's kind of like a vacant lot. I didn't make a comment, but apparently anyone who complained, he booted them out of his channel. So this guy is the axe on some people. So I didn't agree, but it's sad. He said his property, his truck and his RV were getting pine sap on him every morning, and that it was going to mess up the paint job. I personally would have probably started with a car cover, and you know how you can go to like Harbor Freight or Fred Meyer and get like those simple car covers. I would have got one of those for the casita, for the RV. I know he has a car cover in his Texas home base, which I would have recommended that he got that car cover for $3,000, like the metal one, the good, like the lifetime one. My ears are bothering me. And then the car cover where it's like just storage. Like I have one for my car where you just cover up your car and you got to stick the thing in the trunk so the sucker doesn't blow away. And you're supposed to tie underneath it so it doesn't blow away. I would have just done that. If he drives every day, it's a pain in the butt. But I love trees, so it was hard to see. Like I would have maybe had someone trim them down, like my partner's business is cutting trees, and it's like, you love trees, but like people pay you to cut them down, and that's their property, you know. Back to the Pine Meadows hobby farm, he has a video where it's talking about the fires, and he's getting ready to, his son's a firefighter, he's getting ready to evacuate. So he had, I believe, the 2 RVs ready to go, the drop of a hat, and he had to watch, because he called the place about the barn fire, and they said, we do not provide fire service, so any structure you have is going to burn down. They will not come and rescue you if someone's hurt. They don't even come. It's like if someone got hurt, I guess you could call an ambulance, but the fire, it's not like in the city 911, the police, what's the nature of your call? Like whoever's closest, the police gets there first, it's a fire, or if the police gets there first and it's a heart attack, they're going to put the gloves on and they're going to come in and see if they can stabilize you or do mouth to mouth or keep the ambulance people on alert. Because most firefighters, fire trucks do have EMTs on the, like they can perform different medications. And I'm not sure, I'm a doctor, I could run my own clinic doing only like emergency, like house calls, immediate house calls, be there in 3 minutes. Like I could probably like market that for myself, and it's not like I was trying to take the place of an ambulance. It would be stuff more minor, because it's like EpiPen you give someone. You're supposed to go to the hospital. I was on a video and someone was talking about Narcan. I really want to get some. I need paper here. I need to write this stuff down. But he said that if the forest started on fire, that the firefighters would come if there was a threat to the forest, but not to his structure, not to his family, and not to his livestock or pets. And so he just had to watch, and they kept saying, is the forest starting on fire yet? They stayed on the phone like, no, it's not. It's just my structure. Everyone's screaming and yelling and hollering. He's trying to get out there with a freaking water hose, like a garden hose, to put the sucker out, and it didn't work. And he had to do what he could to keep it from spreading to his house. And it's like you almost want to just let it hit the fire, let it hit the forest. But you're not going to try to contribute to a forest fire. It just sucked. And you have where they had a mandatory evacuation for some of the seasonal fires, and he had to go to a parking lot somewhere. And you can, when you're in Oregon, it's hilly, so it's like, say over here you could see smoke, and over here you can see smoke, and you see it getting closer, not just blowing, but you see the root of that getting closer, and it's like about to surround your property. So in that case, they need to, if there's, like you have like cold yellow, whatever, cold green, yellow, orange, red is like get out, orange is like you gotta have the keys to ignition and be pointing towards the end of your driveway. Yellow is like you need to just listen to the news all the time, and don't quote me on that because I have not lived in the Oregon forest, but I know there's a lot of warnings that go up that are like that. And so they would take their animals to a like a fairground to put the animals in a safe place, because you cannot leave your livestock in the barn while you leave a place that potentially could burn down. So he has to go drop his family in the RVs off at the property and go back to the land to see if it's still standing, go back to the family, say, oh, thank God that it's still standing, and wait until the mandatory evacuation is over. So you have people dealing with dry summers and campfires and cigarette butts being thrown out, lightning strikes, because you have that hot and cold, the lightning. So you have people, I get some water. I don't think this needs to be plugged in right now. You have people waiting and watching. And he was working as a nurse, and this guy looks like old. I didn't mean to say he looks old. He's older, okay? What I meant to say is he looks sometimes on the video like he's struggling. He looks like he could use a break. If he had those heart issues, his doctors like having other heart issues. His doctor will say you need to tone it down. You need to rest. But he's pretty much. They don't show his wife that much. He's pretty much running this farm, you know. And if he doesn't take care of the animals and do this and do that between his work hours, then he's gonna have it not work out, you know. He's like super hyper. So the reason I'm talking about this guy's name's Jerry. The reason I'm talking about this guy because he's been lucky, except for the barn fire. He did rebuild. He did get some guinea hogs. They had birth. He had filmed them birthing their babies, squealing. This man is like, how do I say this? He's like, he had someone help him when he was living in the car with his family, but I feel like it's not like he had family members inviting him to stay at their house and help keep the kids in a school. Like it was, you feel like when you end up homeless, you don't have anybody to help you to, I did a clothing basket. You don't have anybody to help you, what's the word I'm looking for? You don't have friends or family. He had one friend. But you don't have, like, your family saying, oh my gosh, my loved one and their kids are living out in the car in the woods somewhere with no food, no water, no clothing, no bathroom, no toilet paper, living like an animal. And the only shelter you have is your car, if you even have that, or tent, and you're lucky. You have the ground and a newspaper. I've been there, done that. So I feel like this guy is really blessed. Because of his nursing career, I feel like he makes plenty of money. He said he got into a different job recently, like it's probably last year, where he was some of these are sour. This is my prize from Whole Foods. That's my prize for entering the danger zone. He had